without it. And if we go where he leads us and walk in his ways, we'll see his face, and we can be like him if we just let him in. We hear his voice in the dark. He put his love in our hearts, so when we see him again, we can be like him. When we learn to love the way he loves and find the part of him inside of us, we will know him when we see him, 'cause we will be like him. We can be like him if we just let him in. We hear his voice in the dark. He put his love in our hearts, so when we see him again, we can be like him, like him.
Om Shanti and a very good morning to all. Today we are going to read the Murli dated 30th of November 2005. The title of the Murli is According to the Closeness of Time, Liberate Yourself from Limited Bondages and Become Complete and Equal. समय की समीपता प्रमाण स्वयं को हद के बंधनों से मुक्त कर संपन्न और समान बनो. So, as we all heard in the song, we can be like him, right? And that is what all of us have aimed for, to become Bap Saman. You know? So in today's Murli, Baba is speaking about specialities of those children who are complete and equal. That is Sampan or Bap Saman. Baba has also shared tips and techniques to achieve these qualities and become like the Father. But Baba says only those souls who are free from limited bondages will be able to achieve these specialities or will have these qualities and can become equal to the Father. So the qualities that Baba is speaking about today is to become free from sinful thoughts, pure, humble, and free from obstacles. And the steps that Baba is mentioning to achieve these specialities is, Baba says if you wish to become free from sinful thoughts, that is nirvikalp, then practice becoming bodiless in a second. Now, if you wish to become pure, that is nirmal, then remember only the one. Baba says if you wish to become equal and humble like the Father, then give everything to the one. Right? Everything belongs to the one. And Baba mentions that if you wish to remain free from obstacles, nirvigna, then use the power of tolerance and the power of realization. So we will look at each of this in brief as we read the Murli together. So today, Baba was seeing all the complete and equal children everywhere only the equal children are merged in the Father's heart. The speciality of the children who are equal is that they are always free from obstacles, free from sinful thoughts, humble and pure. Such souls are always free. They are not tied in any type of limited bondage. So these are the specialities, right? And Baba will further share ways to achieve these qualities. Baba says, ask yourself, have you become a soul who has such unlimited freedom? The first freedom is the freedom from the consciousness of the body to take the support of the body whenever you want and to become detached from the body whenever you want. Deha abhiman se pare, right? The first freedom is freedom of the consciousness of the body. Do not be attracted by the body. Secondly, souls who are free will not be in bondage to any old nature or sanskars. They will be free from old nature and sanskars. Together with that, they will not be attracted to any bodily beings in their relationships and connections. While having relationships and connections, they will be detached and loving. संबंध संपर्क में आते भी detached and loving. So these are bondages that hold us back, right? They don't allow us to become equal to the Father and like the Father. Also, these 3 points remind us of Brahma Baba, right? Seated on a Kamal Asana in an absolute Nyari Pyari Avastha. So for us to become like Baba, we need to be free from these bondages, right? And how can we do that? So Baba is telling us further, check yourself. Are any small physical organs tying you in bondage? Remember your self-respect. You are a master almighty authority, Trikaldarshi, Trinetri, and Swadarshan Chakradhari. On the basis of that self-respect, can any of the physical organs attract the children of the Almighty Authority? While seeing the closeness of time, examine yourself. Are you able to become free from all bondages within a second? Does any such bondage still remain? So, a very subtle and a very deep checking is required here, right? Like, are we able to become free from bondages within a second? Many a times it is easy, but at times we find it difficult to detach, right? Often while coming in contact with people, or sometimes the old nature or sanskars, they suddenly emerge out. So Baba says the practical proof for the last paper and to become number one is to be able to focus your mind and intellect wherever you want in a second and not to fluctuate. For instance, you can go wherever you want with your physical body, can you not? In the same way, are you able to stabilize yourself in the stage you want with your intellect? Just as through science, a light or lighthouse begins to give light or light everywhere in a second as soon as you put on the switch. So Baba says, in the same way, when you put on the switch of the thought of awareness, that is Smritika switch, right? So are you able to become a lighthouse and a lighthouse and give souls light and might? Hmm? So very subtle checking, right? When you receive an order to become bodiless in a second, you will become that, will you not? Or would you have to battle? So, when everything is fine, everything happening around is easy and, happy, then it is easy to put a full stop and become detached. But when something has gone up and down, or, maybe at work, at home, or any other situation, so what is the state of mind at that time? right? Baba says this practice over a long period of time will be very helpful. If there isn't the practice over a long period, it will require effort for you to become bodiless at that time. This is why Bapdada is giving you the signal while performing actions throughout the day. Also have this practice. Controlling power of the mind is required for this. If your mind is under control, none of the physical organs can influence you, right? And Baba's emphasizing on practice. I was saying that, practice this throughout the day, becoming bodiless in a second, right? And then it will be possible to put a full stop quickly, right? And nobody, if you just look at it closely, nobody can become an artist in one day, right? All of us, we require a lot of practice. So Baba says with practice, you can achieve the stage. And here we also complete the first point, right? The first point was becoming free from sinful thoughts. How can we do that? We can do that by practicing being bodiless, becoming bodiless in 1 second, right? Further, Baba says, all the souls now require a blessing of power from you. Souls have this pure desire of you, Master, Almighty Authority souls, without effort, liberate us through your blessings, your drishti, and your vibrations. Everyone is now tired from having labored. All of you have become free from laboring, have you not? Or do you have to labor even now? So Baba is asking, mehnat mukt bane ho ya abhi mehnat karte ho? Baba says, you were told earlier that the easy method to become free from laboring is to be extremely loving to the Father in your heart. And this is easy, right? Being free from laboring. If you wish to become free, then Baba says just have love for the Father. And Baba also has mentioned in a lot of Murlis that jahan mohabbat hai, wahan mehnat nahi lagti, right? And also, if we could just think of a few points, so that we can have more love for Baba or increase this love, right? In some way, maybe we can discuss this towards the end. Further, Baba says, you Brahman souls made a promise the moment you took birth. Do you remember that promise? When the Father made you belong to Him and gave you Brahman birth, what was the promise that all of you made for your Brahman life? So, what was the promise? To belong to one Father and none other. Do you remember your promise? Do you? Nod in agreement. Okay, you are waving your hands. Do you remember it firmly, or do you sometimes forget it? Look, you have become those who have forgotten for 63 births, whereas in this one birth, you have become embodiments of remembrance. Yad ka swarup, right? So the Father is asking you, children, do you remember the promise of your childhood? He has made it so easy for you. The world is in the Father. You have all relationships with the one Father. You have all attainments from the one Father. It is just the one who teaches you and also sustains you. Right? Baba is like, as a father, we receive sustenance from him. And as a teacher, Baba gives us a lot of teachings every day. Right? So Baba says, everything is in the one. Even if it is the family, the godly family, it is also the one Father's. It is not the family of different fathers, it is just the one family. In the family too, you have spiritual love for one another. It isn't just love, it is spiritual love, atmic sneha, right? So Bab Dada is reminding you of the promise you made when you took birth. So Baba says you have an all-in-one Father, right? Just remember the one. So this will make us free from laboring and will also make us pure like Him. Right? The second speciality to become like Baba is to become pure. And how can we do that? So Baba says, just remember the one, and by remembering the promise, everything is in the one. Right? Further, Baba says, what other promise did you make? Everyone said to the Father from their heart with a lot of zeal and enthusiasm, everything is yours. Body, mind, and wealth are all yours. Whatever you have given to the Father, He has entrusted that to you for you to use for the task. You gave them to the Father. You gave them, did you not? Or do you take them back a little? When you take them back, that is being dishonest with whatever is entrusted to you. Some children say that when they have a heart-to-heart conversation, my mind is distressed. Where did my mind come from? Baba, in a very loving way is asking, when you have given everything to Baba, then where did my mind come from? Mera man kahan se aaya? Right? So when you have surrendered mind to yours, where did my mind come from? Hmm? Just as Brahma Baba surrendered completely, right? He always followed the Srimad. May it be self-progress, may it be Yagya Palna, may it be taking care of the number of souls in the Yagya. Baba considered himself a nimit, right? A trustee. So we are also to follow Baba. Further, Baba says, all of you have become emperors without even a shell. Bina Kauri Badshah hai na? Now nothing is yours. You are without a shell and yet you are emperors. Why? The Father's treasures have become your treasures, and so you are emperors, are you not? God's treasures are the children's treasures. So Baba is reminding you of your promises. Do not make yours become mine. The Father says, since the Father has made you prosperous with godly treasures, He also took the responsibility. With which words? Remember me, and you have a right to all the attainments. Simply remember me. And you said, I am yours and you are mine. Right? This is the promise that we've made. That Baba, I am yours and you are mine. And then Baba says, then you are my responsibility. Right? Baba has taken our responsibility. So this is a promise, is it not? So the Father says, constantly use the treasures for yourself and for all souls. The more you use them, the more the treasures will increase. You have the treasure of all powers, so use all the powers. Do not simply keep this knowledge in your intellect. I am an almighty authority, but use all the powers for service according to the time. The very thought that everything belongs to Baba, right? This will make us equal like the Father, right? And this will also make us nirman, right? Humble. And वो जो मैंपन का अभिमान रहता है थोड़ा थोड़ा. So Baba was saying, इससे भी मुक्त हो जाएंगे and we will become nirman, right? Humble. Further, Baba says, in the chart of the majority of the children, Baba has seen that if you remember two powers and use them at the right time, you would always remain free from obstacles. The obstacles would not then have the courage to come in front of you. This is a guarantee from the Father. In fact, you need all the powers, but it has been seen that in the majority, the power of tolerance and the power of realization are needed. So I was saying, to become free from obstacles, use the power of tolerance and the power of realization. Right? You do realize, but there is less attention paid to putting that into a practical form. This is why, when you do realize, your face and behavior change. You have very good zeal and enthusiasm. Yes, I have realized. But what happens then? All of you are experienced in this, are you not? What happens then? There is something lacking in putting that into your form at every moment, because you have to become the embodiment here. Simply to know with your intellect is a different matter. However, there is a need to put that into your form. So Baba's emphasizing on putting the realization into a practical form. Maybe that we've realized something deeply and we wish to change. But then Baba says that now bring it into practical form. And how can we do that? So Baba says use the power of tolerance and the power of realization. Further, Baba says sometimes Baba feels mercy for some children. The father understands that children are not able to make effort, and so instead of letting the children do it, the father wants to do it. However, the secret of the drama is that whoever does something receives the return of it. Jo karega so paega, right? So, very lovingly, Baba's being absolutely gentle and kind. He says, "I wish I could make some effort on behalf of my children." But Baba says the drama is such that you have to do it yourself. This is why, although Bab Dada definitely cooperates, it is still you children who have to do it. Hmm? Further, Baba says Bab Dada has seen that children have very good thoughts. At Amrit Vela, Bab Dada receives many garlands of very good thoughts. I will do this, I will do that, I will do the other. Even Bab Dada becomes happy. Wah, children, wah. Then, why do you become weak in doing it? It has been seen that the reason for that is the atmosphere in the gathering of the Brahmin family. In some cases, the atmosphere is weak and that quickly affects you. And then, should Baba tell you what their language is? Their language then is very sweet. Their language is, this happens all the time, this happens anyway. What thoughts should you have at such a time? When you think this happens, this continues, it brings carelessness. So at that time, you should change that language. What are the Father's orders? What are the what does the Father prefer? What is that the Father likes? Has the Father said this? Did he do this? If you remember the Father, carelessness finishes and there will be zeal and enthusiasm. There are many types of carelessness. Have a class among yourselves about this. Make a list. One is ordinary carelessness and the other is royal carelessness. So carelessness doesn't allow there to be determination, and determination is the basis of success. This is why it remains as a thought and does not become your form. Hmm? Or many a times become careless, right? कि ये तो चलता है, ऐसा तो होता है. But then Baba says, remember the Father at that time. What are his orders? And has the Father said this? So what needs to be done? So Baba says, when you remember the Father at that time, carelessness will go away and there will be determination. And determination is the basis of success. Further, Baba says, so what did you hear today? You were reminded of your promises, were you not? You make such good promises that even Bab Dada becomes pleased on hearing the promises. However, you don't take as much benefit as the promises you make. So So this is what Bap Dada wants. You ask what Bap Dada wants of you, do you not? This is what Bap Dada wants. Become ever ready before time. Time should not become your master. You are the masters of time. Therefore, Bap Dada wants you children to become complete before time and be revealed with the Father on the world stage. So Bap Dada's wish for all of us children is that he wants us to fulfill all the promises that we have made and become complete before time, right? And further, Baba's meeting the Delhi and the Agra group. So we will quickly read that part where Baba is meeting the double foreigners. Baba meeting the double foreigners says, it is good that the double foreigners are paying good attention to the self and also to service. However, you just have to add a little something to that. You have to underline it. Whatever thought of transformation you have, and it is with good zeal and enthusiasm and courage that you have it, simply continue to underline it. I have to do this. I have to change. I have to change myself and change the world. Continue to underline determination again and again. Baba is again emphasizing on bringing things in the practical form, right? Self-transformation. Baba says, however, otherwise Baba is pleased. There is expansion and there is also attention paid to service and to the self. However, there has to be complete attention. There is attention, but in between there is also a little tension, and that definitely has to finish. Nevertheless, you have good courage. Congratulations for your courage. All those who are sitting here together with the Father are giving you congratulations for your courage. Acha. You are all sitting here, but Bap Dada also received lots of love and remembrance from the children sitting far away. And while merging each child in his eyes, Bap Dada is giving each one lots and lots of blessings from his heart. Whether from Bharat or abroad, Baba received remembrance from many children through letters and emails. All of them reached Baba. Bap Dada wants to see the drill of becoming bodiless in a second. If you want to pass at the end, this drill is absolutely essential. Therefore, while sitting in such a big gathering, become stable in the stage of being beyond the consciousness of the body. No attraction should attract you. So Baba took us to the first point, right again, right? But again, Baba is reminding us of the drill of becoming bodiless in a second. And we started the Murli with this point, right? Of becoming bodiless in a second. Acha. To all the intense effort making children everywhere, to all the special souls who are always engaged in the service of self-transformation and world transformation, to all the souls who are always karma yogis like Father Brahma and free from any attraction of karma and attraction of the physical organs, to the children who are close and equal to their father, who put into practical form their every thought and word with determination, blessings from the heart of Bap Dada, and also accept love and remembrance from the heart and Namaste. From us children to our beloved Bap Dada, love-filled remembrance and Namaste. So further Baba's meeting Dadiji. So I guess we can take that part as homework. Again, revising those 4 points that Baba mentioned is to become equal to the Father, you have to be free from sinful thoughts. You have to be free from obstacles, become humble, and become pure. And Baba mentioned steps to do that is remember the Father. Everything belongs to the Father. Become bodiless in a second and use the power of tolerance and the power of realization. So we will take a few moments of silence and then we shall share the points of the Murli. Acha, Om Shanti. Om Shanti. We can now unmute ourselves and share the points from the Murli.
Om Shanti. Om Shanti, sister.
Om Shanti, brother.
Today, Baba said that remember me, you would never be alone. And that is very correct. There are people around you in times of happiness, in times of difficulty sometimes, and sometimes not. Most often, at times of difficulties, you are left to your own courage. So now at this point in time, when Baba says that I am there with you, it makes you all your life all the more comfortable to think that yes, that you are never alone in the life anytime. He's always there. Somebody is always there with you. So it brings so much of reassurance from his words that he is there. So that's my message. Thank you, sister. Om Shanti.
So true, right? So very well shared that Baba is always there with us. He just says that remember me and only me, and then you are my responsibility. Very nice. Anybody else
Adding
would
on
like
to
to? Yes.
adding on to what Vinod Pai said, and you added on, Deepika Ben, today's Murli Baba says that you say that Baba, all is yours, but at times you take it back. So the experience that I want to put across here is, we easily say, Baba, this is yours. But then we only start fighting with it and battling with it and forget that Baba is with us. The point I'm making is when we say, Baba, it's yours, let's make ourselves available for it. Because Baba is always there with us, whether it's going to be any Lokik responsibility or alokik responsibility. If we surrender it to Baba, it just becomes absolutely easy. Now, this is something which has shown up in any kind of relationship conflict or at workplace when it goes to even projects. Few weeks back, I spoke about some challenge that we were going through in submitting a new project. And the moment it was being handed over to Father, today I'm submitting the final projection to the client, which we were not even knowing. I was not even knowing how would I go about and doing it. So surrendering it with complete faith and then doing what's required, remembering that I am the Karanhar and Baba is Karavanhar, life it becomes very easy to see through whatever is going to be coming in. Om Shanti.
Yes, very right, Aki sister. This also reminds me of a little story that I've just heard in a class. A little girl, she was just trying to fix her toy that was broken, and she was trying it from a lot of time. She was trying hard, and then suddenly God arrives, and God asks that little girl that do you need my help? Should I help you? She says, okay, yes, take this toy and fix this for me. And then God tries to do it. But then while God is trying to fix her toy, she constantly tries to correct him that no, you are not putting this piece correctly. No, you are not doing this correctly. Right? Reminding God that no, you are not fixing this properly. So God then does what he does is he takes the toy and broken toy, he hands it back to that girl. You only take care of things, right? And this is what we do with life. We give things to Baba, but then again we start telling Baba that Baba, this is not correct and that is not correct. So Baba today says that surrender completely. So anybody else would like to share?
One more point which touched me from today's Murli is don't wait for the time to come in. Create time. Baba says be ever ready and not think about that I will become when the time will come.
Sister, in fact, Baba mentioned um, that uh, why are you applying your mind? It's mine. And that statement actually made me feel very light. Sometimes our thoughts make us very heavy, and I think I'm still not that perfect, but still I find that the statement is very very true. If you can imbibe all his knowledge, your mind would be filled with his ideas. So if you leave the situation and the circumstances to him and leave the mind telling that Baba, I should bow down, it's your mind, please take care, and it's better be followed all the time, then the mind which is surrendered to him will be run by him. The ideas probably will come up within the right time. Thank you.
Okay, so I then have a few questions. What did Baba say about becoming free from laboring? Baba has mentioned something there that if you wish to become free from laboring, then do this. What is it?
Being
If,
loveful.
yes, but then what are a few ways in which we can have love and good amount of love for the Father? Or how are we supposed to increase this love for the Father? A few ways, if somebody can share, or how can we do that? The very first point, I feel it is, we can take it from the Murli itself, that tell everything to him. Everything, may it be at work, maybe home, maybe any situation, little things, just keep telling him that Baba, this has happened. Baba, now I am here. Baba, I am doing this, right? If as a child we keep informing our parents, right? This happened at school, and all this took place. We keep telling our parents about our day, and so we should also do this with Baba, right? Inform him about everything. Anybody else would like to share? Or how do you express love with Baba? Love to Baba.
By being detached from everything and attached to only one. In this way, I can express a love to Father.
Yes, very right.
by spending time with him, meditating.
Yes.
For me, how I connect with Baba is all expression. Even if I have a thought otherwise about things which are not happening right, I have seen at times I'll go back and ask Baba, why are you doing all this? Why are you putting me in trouble? So I talk to him as if he's just my friend. He's ready to listen to what I have to say, and that's one way I connect with Baba.
It makes a lot of things easy, right? When we know that somebody's walking along, coming along. Very nice.
You can say at times it is little selfish thought. At least there is someone who is going to be listening to me without even counter questioning me. Sun to lega, and then yes, there will be a two-way conversation to get the answers of what's going through. So that had been my wonderful experiences, especially when there had been relationship conflicts, and I did not know what is to be done next.
Also, Baba spoke about becoming free from obstacles. So, what is to be done there?
He says about deploying power of tolerance and power of realization.
Right. And that is it. A lot of power of tolerance and realization is needed while we come in connections and relationships, right? Um, Well, Baba also emphasized on bringing that into the practical form, right? If you have realized something, you have the realization, then bring that into a practical form. Okay, so would anybody like to share anything?
Oh, Shanti, regarding I joined very late, so I could hear the Murli. Regarding the previous question, I see Baba as my mother. I always see him as my mother. So my love towards him increases more and more. I see as though Baba is with me in the kitchen, like my mother is with me. I'm talking to her. I'm sharing her with everything. As soon as I used to come back from my college, I used to sit and chat with my mother. The same way I imagine Baba sitting with me. So this creates more and more love towards me. And regarding obstacles, when we surrender completely to Baba, say that nothing is mine, everything is yours, and putting all the burden, giving all the basket of burdens to him, it makes me obstacle free. Om Shanti.
Yes. Very nice. Okay, so would anybody else like to share anything? Okay, so Raki sister, should we move on to the meditation then?
Sister.
Okay, the points to be taken as homework, maybe we can take and make it a habit from today itself that, we write a letter to Baba before going to bed, right? Before sleeping in the night, we should just try and put in a habit from today. I'm sure all of us are doing it, but then daily we should just write a letter to him, maybe telling him about the day. How was the day? How did Baba help? How were things? And informing him about everything, and then comfortably going to bed. So this is the homework and probably a practice, that we can do, and make this practice firm in this Avyakt Mass, right? So we can all take this as homework. And Baba also mentioned about a drill, right? Become bodiless in a second. So today, let's practice the drill. And Ami sister, could you just can you just please share
Yeah.
the?
Yes.
Okay, okay. Om Shanti, Ami sister. If you can just turn on the volume. Om Shanti. Let us all practice this drill several times throughout the day. And thank you all for sharing. Thank you, Baba. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Thank you, Deepika man. Thank you
Om
all
Shanti.
of you. And see you tomorrow at 5:30 a.m. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.